What's going on, you guys? So check it right. With A-Reece dropping his long-awaited third studio album Paradise 2, the big-hearted bad guy, a lot of fans and listeners had been anticipating the album. Now, one overzealous user on Twitter, or should I say X, by the name of 2022 Africa, while he usually reports on music streams in regards to artists in SA across all genres, and this time around he reported on the supposed first day streams for Paradise 2, with the list for the biggest first day album debut for a SA hip-hop album on SA Spotify in 2023, with Mass Country being first with 1,066,000 streams. Number 2 is Nasty C with I Love It Here with 637,200 streams. Number 3 is Casper in Your Vest with 308,800 streams. And number 4 is A-Reece with Paradise 2, the big-hearted bad guy, with 133,100 streams. Now, after he made this post, man, did it start a huge commotion on the timeline. Now, on the one side, you obviously had the Iversons clowning Reece and the Slimes for such low streams in comparison to Nasty, basically saying that Reece should never be mentioned alongside Nasty C anymore. On the other side, you had the Slimes giving a lot of pushback since they felt as if these numbers were wrongly reported. Now, because the Slimes didn't agree with what 22 Africa reported, they were pretty much on his case for the majority of the day, insisting that he corrects himself. And he came out to say, "When I tell people there's nothing more stressful than doing hip-hop stats, they think I'm lying. Look at the results." Now, later that night, he eventually came out to report that P2, the big-hearted bad guy by A-Reece, officially debuts with 11 tracks on the SA Spotify daily chart, is currently charting with 19 songs, receiving a full day of 1,024,000 streams. And he also came out to report that A-Reece joins AKA as the only South African artist in history to receive 1 million streams over a full day of tracking for an album on SA Spotify, as well as also saying the biggest full day album tracking for a South African hip-hop artist on SA Spotify in 2023. At number 1, we have AKA with Mass Country with 1,066,000 streams. At number 2, we have A-Reece with Paradise 2, the big-hearted bad guy, with 1,024,000 streams. At number 3, we got Nasty C with I Love It Here with 637,200 streams. At number 4, we got Casper in Your Vest with Solomon with 308,800 streams. Now, it's clear that there's a major contrast in the numbers that 22 Africa initially reported on and the numbers he posted later that night. So I can understand why the Slimes are on his case, because he reported false information. Now, he also came out with an apology which goes on to say, "Now that I have concluded everything, I will say I do apologize for not stating that the 133.1k streams, the album Paradise, the big-hearted bad guy, were based on 6 hours of recorded tracking, which automatically added at its first debut streams on SA Spotify. Keep in mind that Spotify is an American company and they do use American time zone. To A-Reece and his fans, I apologize for the lack of communication and the lack of clarity and the misleading that may have taken place to them specifically, since this is directly linked to them and them only. And I do also apologize to my followers specifically for this content I do, since I wasn't 100% transparent. By that I mean leaving out specific details. Apologies for that." Now, it just goes to show how supportive the Slimes really are when it comes to Reece. I mean, they made this nigga fall by literally fighting to the bitter end to defend Reece at any cost, especially when false information about him is being spread. So I can understand why Reece appreciates them so much. And I mean, they really showed out for him by surpassing 1 million streams on the first day the album dropped, which is crazy. And it's even crazier because these numbers are exclusive to Spotify. So just imagine how many streams he accumulated on Apple Music as well. It's actually quite scary to think about it, and I only say that because Reece is still independent, but his numbers say otherwise. Now, after the true streams were posted, I couldn't help but notice that the timeline was super quiet in comparison to the previous day, where people were trying to clown him for those false numbers. So with the album doing more than 1 million streams, Reece definitely silenced the noise. Now, in case some of you don't believe he did 1 million streams plus, other sources did come out to report on those same numbers, so it is all legit. And on top of that, Reece holds the top album across all genres as well as hip-hop on Apple Music, and he has 18 out of the 19 tracks charting within the top 20 songs on Apple Music on the hip-hop category. So this is turning out to be a very successful weekend of streaming for Reece, and I can't help but think about the lines he said in West Time Africa, where he went on to say, numbers doing far better than they projected, labels use my work as a point of reference when I drop a record, keeping up with me just got him looking desperate. So with all that said, I do have to give a big shout out to Reece for dropping such a dope album. The music is clearly doing all the talking for him. And also just want to give a big shout out to the Slimes on Spotify, the investors. You guys really played your part well. But anyways, guys, you let me know your thoughts on this. Are you shocked that Reece managed to pull those numbers on Spotify alone? Or did you expect this? Comment down below. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to hit that like button if you found the content dope, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. It's on to the next one. Peace.